Welcome to Suite 301. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. It's our monthly webcast. I'm here with Rob Bell. How you doing, Rob?
How's it going, guys?
We're going to give you a behind-the-scenes look at all the CollClubSports leagues. And, Rob, why don't you let them know how...
Yeah, for sure. Now, we also, first off, want to thank everyone for voting.
Yes.
For us to be the host today. Best friends in the office, best friends as
We are best friends.
So, I just want to thank everyone, who voted on Facebook and Twitter. And also, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for the latest news and also the interactive polls involved with CollClubSports as a whole.
Yes, I want to thank them, too. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on us right now to do a great job.
There is.
Because I'm sure Dan's going to do another vote next month. Hopefully we'll win that one again.
Hopefully we win again. Yeah.
But let's get this thing started. Let's get right into the NCBBA, which stands for what, Rob?
The National Club Basketball Association.
Which you are.
Which I am the director of basketball development for.
Yes.
Building the league and kind of promoting the league is something, we've done, I think, very well in the past year. Signing 39 new teams to the league. It's been awesome. Teams have been excited. Teams have been playing basketball. So that's very exciting.
And they just started back up again, correct?
We just started back up again. There was actually games this past weekend. There was 3 conference series this past weekend, and all 3 were played. And I haven't heard a whole lot yet. We're going to be talking to Bryce from Ohio State about the Kentucky-Ohio State matchup. But I haven't really heard other than Michigan State winning all 3. Other than that, it's kind of
But all the games were played.
All the games were played.
That's a win in itself.
Yeah, for sure. Guys just coming back from school and coming back from break, it's definitely a positive thing. Kind of shifting gears a little bit, we wanted to announce that we have signed La Quinta, I say La Quinta, as the 2016 National Championship Hotel.
The host hotel.
The host hotel. Very excited. It's a mile from campus where the actual National Championship is being held at La Roche.
Yep.
So that's very excited. Teams to watch, like I said, I think Michigan State is going to be a powerhouse, basically.
You've been pretty vocal about who you think,
yes.
And I'm not going to ask you to tell us who you think, but
sure.
Michigan State's always been one of those teams, which is a new team, correct, in the league this year?
Correct.
That you've been pretty high on all year.
Yeah, they were a new team. They were actually an intramural team last year, and their advisor on campus asked them to kind of make a team. They went out to the intramural championship, and they actually won it. And so they decided to be a club team this year, and I think their success is carrying over from last year to this year.
How many games have they played so far?
They have played a conference series this past weekend, and then they've also played against a non-conference against Kent State as well.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward. Hopefully, we'll see them personally at La Roche for the National Championship.
I would expect them to be there probably.
Now, talk to us about the pools. Is Michigan State atop those pools, or is it still East Carolina atop?
Still East Carolina. Michigan State isn't within those pools. The new one will be coming out this week because we had some games played this week, so we'll be voting again. So voters, make sure you get your vote in and definitely vote for your favorite team or vote for what you think is the best team in the NCBA.
Yeah, not necessarily your favorite, but
right. That would be a little biased voting, which is what we don't. We
maybe not accurate.
Exactly.
Yes. But and we'll touch on this later in the NCBA segment, but big thing now is teams needing to get their academic letters in.
Yeah, big thing. Even if you played in the fall, you still need a spring academic letter. A lot of teams they didn't read the rule book. They thought they were good. If they were playing in the fall, they don't have to turn one in the spring. FYI, still need one for the spring, and still tell your players to register online. Some teams that haven't played yet, still don't have guys registered online, which we need to do. That way they can have an official team roster. So they can do stats and players of the week and things like that, and be promoted on the website. Yeah,
absolutely. And obviously we have some social media outlets that the teams can follow, like Facebook and Twitter and things like that.
Definitely follow Facebook, Twitter. It's at the NCBA. We want to get some more followers. We release a whole bunch of information on there, exciting information and some kind of cool. We released an article about Michigan State's club basketball team.
Nice.
That the Michigan State school newspaper that they wrote up, and we kind of threw that on our Facebook page and stuff. So it was really cool.
So if you're, and to touch on what Rob said, if campus is, the newspaper wrote a story, we would love to hear about that. We would love to publicize that. So if something like that comes up in the school newspaper or on the local news, please let us know, because we would definitely like to publicize your teams. I think here in a few minutes we're going to have a player, Bryce.
Bryce. He's the president of Ohio State. He's going to be calling in. They actually played Kentucky this weekend, so let's get Bryce here on the phone. Bryce, how's it going, man? This is Rob.
Hey, Rob, how you doing?
Pretty good, man. Hey, I just want to kind of touch on a few things. I guess first off, why don't you tell us about the series this weekend? I don't know any scores from the games yet, so kind of fill us in what happened this weekend.
We got, we won all 3 games by about 15 points each. We had a really good weekend offensively. Defensively, we got to patch 2 things up, rebounding-wise. But, we looked real good this weekend. We got really lucky that this was actually Kentucky's first week of practice. They're a very good team, and I know once they get some more time, they'll be a very competitive team coming into the year.
Cool. And is there any conference series you guys are looking forward to upcoming? I'm sure you guys are looking forward to Kentucky, but is there any other one in particular that sticks out to you guys that you guys are kind of looking forward to?
We're just taking matchup by matchup. So I know I think we got Wittenberg next. That's what we got our eyes on. We saw them play in our tournament earlier this fall. They're a pretty good team. And we're actually lucky to see Miami of Ohio and Indiana State at our tournament. So we already know what they're like a little bit. But right now we're just focused on Wittenberg.
Absolutely. And I guess, Bryce, the next thing is, what do you think you guys are going to have to do in order to, make yourself basically the team to come out of the Great Lakes in order to come to the national championship? Is it practice? Is it, basically what is it?
Practice definitely helps. That's definitely a key one. But Kentucky really crashed the glass on us. They made us look silly on the glass. So we really got to work on our rebounding. But I know we're going to touch on that in practice a lot throughout the weeks, and I think once we get that settled, we'll be right where we want to.
Absolutely. And Bryce, I have one more question for you. I think it's kind of interesting. You bigger schools, are you guys coached by a separate coach, or you take the kind of coaching role during the games? And if you do, how do you kind of figure that out when you're on the court? Do you have your vice president or whatever? Is he kind of doing the substitution stuff? I'm always curious to find out from teams, how they approach that whole coaching thing.
We actually do have a separate coach, Eddie Davis, who actually played for Coach Mata back with Greg Oden and Mike Conley, and he was on the team for 4 years. He's been really great with us. He's really made this team gel, and he knows what it's like. He knows we got 15 guys who can all contribute very well to this team, and he does his best, giving everyone a chance, and he does a very good job with us.
Absolutely. Well, Christian, do you have anything you would like to throw to Bryce?
Bryce, yeah, Christian Smith here. Just a quick question. This is their first year, Ohio State's first year in the league.
In the league.
NCBBA.
Correct.
So far, how are things going? Are you enjoying the, competition? What is, I guess, get your thoughts on how you think the NCBBA is overall as an experience for you guys.
I think it's a great experience. Getting to play Kentucky, they're a very good team. Getting to play a team like that was great. We played Miami of Ohio and Indiana State earlier in the year. They're both very good teams. So we look forward to getting us serious with them later in the season. And we're really looking forward to keep what we're doing, getting to play some of those other teams from different regions in the national tournament. So it's very well organized, run very well. We look forward to our future in it.
Nice.
Well, I appreciate the phone call, Bryce, and like I said, good luck the rest of the season. I'm sure we'll be talking, and maybe we'll see at Ohio State at La Roche and Pittsburgh here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right, Bryce, take care, man. Appreciate it.
See you, Bryce.
You too. Thanks, Tim.
He sounds like, he mentioned getting to play. These big name schools, a lot of which you signed this year, Ohio State, getting to play Kentucky. Those are some, marquee matchups, big name matchups. So
right, and I think it kind of works the other way too. The smaller schools like Wittenberg, they're jacked up to play Ohio State.
Absolutely.
They want that Cinderella story where they can, hopefully get the win.
Yep. Well, I think. Do you have anything else to add basketball-wise, that you want to get out to?
I do not. Just
the thousands of people watching?
Just academic letters, and make sure you guys are scheduling your games, getting with other teams, and
contacting your opponent a couple weeks beforehand.
Right.
Or
Any non-conference games, throw them my way. Let me know about them. And look out for new teams for next season. They're going to be released. So it's going to be.
You got the LPA out.
I have the LPA out for next season, so be on the lookout. If someone signs early, we might be reaching out to some teams in our league saying, hey, these guys are on board for next year. They're looking for some games. Give them some games. So definitely excited.
Well, let's get to our next segment, which is the National Club Football Association. Welcome our boss and the head of the NCFA, Sanderson, to the show. How you doing, Sandy?
What's up, fellas? Good job so far.
Thanks.
So far, so good?
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Not a problem.
Well, thank you for joining us. Obviously the NCFA season is over. Are there any updates for 2016?
Well, the season's never really over. The fun part of the season's over. Now's the hard part. Now it's the off season. It's all the planning, the logistics. It's the recruiting. It's the rule changes. Our big thing right now is coming up is our league meeting comes up in 2 weeks here in Pittsburgh, and once again it's going to be well attended. I know I've seen the RSVP list. I think we're looking at 30-some people are coming. Pretty much all from out of town are coming to Pittsburgh, and they want to get together, and we'll talk about the league and what needs to change on it. I think it's going to be one of our biggest and most important league meetings we've ever had. While we did have a very successful season operationally, we certainly have some big things to discuss. Give and take. What aspects of the league need to stay? What aspects need to go? And how we're going to orient that, as well as some big realignment discussions. We've got some things changing down in the South, and that could affect our playoff structure. We'll have big discussions on that and so forth. And I've got some ideas I want to propose. I'm eager to see the feedback they get, and of course, every year many of these young guys are bringing great ideas to the table that I've never thought of. So it should be good. It'll be a good meeting. You've attended it before. You've seen how productive it can be, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great forum for all the teams in the league to get together to not only network but really build the future of the league and really lay the groundwork to 2016 and beyond. And I know huge things voted on, like the playoff system, all that stuff. So recap it again. When is the dates?
The league meeting is Saturday, January 30th.
Okay.
Not July 30th.
Not July.
January 30th.
Started with a J, though.
So, yeah, that's the league meeting. And, since the last show, some things, we've released the All-American team the day of the last show. So congratulations to all those winners. In the next 2 weeks, we expect to release our academic All-American team. After the first of the year, once we get all the grades back, then we pick the academic All-American team. So that should be coming out soon. And we've already added University of North Carolina, Greensboro to the league. They're a new team coming on board this year. I've already spoken. I've got verbal commitments from 3 other schools that say they're going to be coming on this year. I know 2 of them, Ohio University and Cleveland State, are both coming to the meeting.
Nice.
So there is some growth out there. So looking forward to it.
Well, good. Well, anything else to add NCFA-wise that you'd like to get out to the viewers?
No, just, if you're a team out there and you have any ability to be at this meeting, get somebody there. It's worth it. You will find that out, and once you attend one, you will attend them all, because you'll realize, this is my opportunity to have a say in something, and something big, and weigh your team's opinion in. So you kind of lose your opportunity to complain if you don't come to this meeting and chime in. So if you can make it, we hope you can be there.
Good advice. Thank you for joining us.
All right, keep up the good work.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Christian, I'm still a little depressed about talking about football.
What? Oh, yeah.
The Steelers last night.
Yeah, that was tough. Very tough. One guy in our office took it a little harder than I think.
Yeah, he did.
The rest of us took it.
I think he's still crying over there.
He is a little bit. Let's welcome Eric to the show. Eric Curator, everybody. How you doing, Eric?
Good. How are you guys doing? I was going to talk to you, but I wasn't on a mic, so no. I had to wait a little bit there.
That's smart. Very smart.
So what's going on, guys? How we doing? You guys are doing great so far, by the way.
Thank you, Eric.
Appreciate it.
I can understand why the people voted for you guys.
The people's host.
The people's people.
For at least a month.
Yep.
Well, let's get in. Eric Curator, head of Division II of the NCBA. You know, obviously February 1st, spring season officially starts.
Yeah, it's coming up pretty quick here.
I know you've had, with the new rule of, any team can play in the fall. A lot of teams played in the fall, but, February 1st comes and it's basically the start of the season. Any latest news in D2?
Yeah,
going?
The big thing this week is actually the new poll will be coming out. Preseason poll will be coming out on Thursday. I know we're getting a lot of action on Twitter and social media about when's it coming out. A lot of chatter going on already, which is good. And that'll be coming out on Thursday. I'm starting to get the ballots already, and it's
nice.
It's kind of fun to look at them a little bit and see what everybody's got preseason, because we don't really know a whole lot about you guys yet. So it's always up in the air about who's picking who and the reasons behind it and everything like that. So it's fun to look into. So that's the big thing this week.
And the team previews are all out.
Yeah, I think we got 2 more. I got to do one later today, and then actually 3 more. Excuse me. Up through Thursday they'll be coming out. So
okay.
But all the panel got them and everything like that. So everybody knows all the good information about you guys that'll be voting. So.
Well, good. Yeah, and those team previews, I mean, if they're already posted, it's obviously too late. But that's what we have to base our voting on is what is basically on that piece of paper, and obviously some other things, but mainly that's what we're looking at.
Yeah, in a perfect world, I mean, we'd love to know everything about you guys, but it's club baseball. We have our limitations a little bit, so those team previews go a long way, especially for the preseason poll. So,
well, the goal, start of the season, come May 15th-ish. We're going to be in Pittsburgh, Kansas.
Second year back. Our first year last year, which I thought was a complete success. You guys were there. We're going to be back there again. JC Ballpark, Pittsburgh, Kansas. Great turf field. A lot of great resources. The city's, really gets behind us and, really gives us anything we need to make that tournament a success, which it was last year, and it's only going to get better. I know we're going to talk to Matt Ridner here in a little bit about, his success, last year with EKU as the national champs, but really looking forward to it. It's only going to get better. And this year.
The host hotel, same
Lamplighter Inn and Suites. We just signed it last week. The press release should be out. They were great last year, and no reason why they shouldn't be back this year. So we're excited for them.
Yeah, that was a great hotel, and to piggyback off your comments, Pittsburgh, Kansas was it was a great ballpark, a great small community where, and we as a staff had a blast, and I know the teams did. So we're going to be talking. I'm assuming that's Matt.
Let's get Matt on the phone here. Hey, Matt, how you doing? It's Eric with the NCBA.
Hey, Eric. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, how we doing? Last time I was talking to you, I believe Eastern Kentucky was hoisting the national championship trophy.
Yeah.
But now, hey, moving forward, you guys are D1. So I had some couple quick questions for you guys. As the D2 national champ, obviously moving on to D1 this year, what's the big difference that you guys are expecting going into the Division I season?
Well, Eric, everybody that's in our Division I conference, we saw, except Ohio, but we've seen them, over the course of the last few years of playing different teams. So we've pretty much seen everybody in our conference. The one that I'm excited to kind of see is we're in the Mid-Atlantic West, and there's a lot of good teams in that Mid-Atlantic. I believe it's the South. It's got some North Carolina teams, ECU, Elon. I believe Elon, didn't they win the Greenville Invitational? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So those teams down there, that's concerning how good they are, and to see how we'll stack up against those guys. But, we've never backed down from anybody so far. But other than that, the competition's undoubtedly better, but other than that, I don't know how many changes I see.
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback what you were saying, you guys are obviously going to have a lot of different new opponents, a lot of exciting challenges. Is there any games on the calendar you guys have circled? Any series either within your conference or maybe out of conference that you guys are looking forward to more than others?
Well, Ohio State, they were our big rival in D2, and Chad Lowe's still the coach of. I think he's going to coach the D1 team this year. Mm-hmm. pretty sure about that. So, he'll still say Ohio State across the front of the uniform, so I expect them to be good, and I expect them to be our big rival. We got a few games with Florida Gulf Coast. I know they're D2, but I'm pretty sure they went like 12-0 in their conference last year, so I know they're good. Miami and Florida International, we're also going to play them down in Florida, so looking forward to those games.
Yeah, it should be an exciting year for you guys. As we look towards last year, we mentioned before you got on the phone, obviously Eastern Kentucky capped off their season by winning the national championship at the D2 level. And just to touch base real quick on Pittsburgh, Kansas, if you maybe can elaborate on your guys' experience last year, what you thought of the facility, the city, basically just an overview of the week for you guys.
Yeah, and for teams driving in, when you're probably within an hour of getting there, you're probably going to be like, where in the world are we going? Once you actually get to the town of Pittsburgh, and I'm not just shouting, and I'm not just trying to, tell everybody it's going to be great. It really is a very nice town. There's plenty of places to eat. I think one of the sponsor, like a pub that you guys sponsored last year, it was really good.
Was that McCarthy's?
Yeah, McCarthy.
Yeah, we had a good time there.
And then there's if you want to go downtown and go to bars at night, it's happening. It's a happening place, and it's a good little college town. I don't know what it compares to. I know I'm talking to a national audience, so I can't, not everybody's been everywhere, but it's a very nice little town. We enjoyed it very much.
Matt, Christian Smith here. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Doing great. You and Eric were talking about it earlier, and you touched on, just how, and I'm obviously biased being the Mid-Atlantic Regional Director, but being down in Greenville, Elon took home that national championship, but the three other semifinal teams were all from the Mid-Atlantic. That South is very tough. The North is always tough, but definitely with the addition of you guys, that West is going to be. It's going to be a dogfight. I mean, you guys, Ohio State, Ohio, who won the conference last year. What do you think is going to, and I'm going to guarantee you guys are going to compete and be a top, or at least close to the top of the standings at the end of the year. What is, what do you need to do to win the West? What is that X factor that you need to do to be better than all those other teams?
Well, the number one thing we need to do right now is we better start hitting. Our pitching, we played 17 fall games, and 12 of the games we allowed 2 runs or less, and 7 of those were shutouts. So, the pitching has been there, and the defense actually, statistic-wise, is better than our previous 3 years, according to our, we use Game Changer, and so I can go back and look at previous year's stats. So our defense has been good. But our hitting is not. It's stiff. We lost our best 2 hitters last year, and then we guys from last year just had it, for whatever reason, it hasn't clicked this year. So Kentucky, we played Kentucky in a non-conference series, and they're in our conference.
Yep.
Earlier in the year, and we lost 2 out of 3 because we couldn't hit the ball. So we better start hitting to keep up our pitching, because our pitching, we got all of our guys back. So
Dusty's back.
There.
Your brother's back?
Yeah. No, my brother's back. We started, I guess, in the 4 games in Kansas last year. We started 3 different guys. Dusty, my brother, started 2, but the other 2 start pitchers are back from last year as well. So,
good.
Yeah. Pretty good set there. It'll be interesting to see how I manage in a 9-inning game, because we haven't played many 9-inning games before this year. So that'll be different for sure, trying to manage the really pitching situation.
Yeah, that's a valid point. I don't think a lot of people understand there's a real difference between a 7-inning game and a 9-inning game.
2 innings.
Yeah, those extra 2 innings. You're gonna have to have more pitching, more guys that are capable to close out the game. So that's a great point. And for those who don't know who your brother is, Dusty Ridner, he had a phenomenal World Series last year. He was the MVP. I believe he started 2 games, one being the national championship, and he was a hell of a pitcher. So kudos to him, and hopefully he'll have another repeat performance performance this year, and you guys will be down at Paducah hanging out with Christian and hopefully having some success. So
Martinsville, then Paducah.
Yeah, I guess you got to win your regional first, right?
Yeah.
So
if we did make it to Paducah, are we going to be the hometown team down there in Kentucky? We're going to have hometown fans.
Probably. I mean,
they're going to jump on the bandwagon.
I'm sure your dad will be there, right?
Christian, if we played in Honolulu, Hawaii for the World
Your dad has one heck of a voice. I remember that.
Say that again.
Your dad has one heck of a voice. We were singing Low Places by Garth Brooks together.
Oh, yeah. He stole the show.
Let him listen to this. His head, he won't be able to
Have you talked to, I get last kind of off the subject comment, have you talked to the new varsity coach yet?
Oh, yeah, Edwin Thompson. Yeah, me and him got a pretty good relationship. Christian, is your brother still playing?
Yeah.
At Eastern?
Yep.
Is he?
Yep.
Okay, does he? Well,
Just trying to recruit your brother, I think.
he's going to let us keep using the varsity field, and he's a very nice guy. I think he'll win here. He just seems impressive.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be able to recruit well. But, I guess we'll see after he gets a couple of his own, recruiting classes in there.
Yeah.
If that will come true or not.
Yeah. All right, man. Well,
all right, Matt. Hey, we appreciate you coming on the show. Always good catching up with you, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. And like Christian was saying, hopefully we'll see you guys in Martinsville and hopefully in Paducah.
Guys, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right,
see you, Matt. One heck of a guy right there.
Yeah, he's a great guy to work with. I really enjoyed it down in the D2 level, and obviously you'll have it firsthand and within your region, and hopefully World Series in future years.
Oh, yeah.
So.
The Mid-Atlantic, yo. Probably the best in the...
I think it's my time to leave the set before we have a little South Atlantic, Mid-Atlantic debate. So, all right, guys. Well, it's been fun. Good luck the rest of the show.
Thank you.
Hopefully I cemented my presence on here so people can vote for me. Maybe I'll...
yeah, maybe.
I don't think he has a chance.
Maybe I'll be in your guys' position next
You should tell a
next month.
joke or something.
I got nothing, so it's time to go.
All right.
So, all right, guys.
Bye, Eric.
See ya.
Bye, Eric.
Well, let's move on. We were talking D2. Might as well.
Let's talk some Division I baseball. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So, Christian.
Yeah.
How are things looking on the D1 side? Are we going back to Paducah?
Yes, we are. We are going back to Paducah. As we mentioned before, February 1st, and especially at the D1 level, because only 2 regions in D1 play fall games. So for the majority of our Division I teams, February 1st is, official start of the season. So I think we have a lot of games. Just checking out the schedule, a lot of games on tap that first week in the NCBA at the D1 level. So I'm really excited about that. Since I'm mentioning that, you should have all received an email from myself personally about your academic eligibility letters and registering online. Make sure to do that. If you don't do it, if you don't have an eligible roster online, you will forfeit games. You will automatically forfeit any wins that you achieve. So make sure to get that taken care of. If this is the first you're hearing about that, please get in touch with me or your regional director, because it's very, very important to have that kind of stuff taken care of so that you don't have to focus on that anymore. You can focus on playing baseball. So yeah, get academic letters in. The new rule with that is, if unless it has an official seal of the university on the academic letter, the person who signed off on it actually needs to personally send it to me, and that's a new rule for this year. So make sure to get that taken care of. But yeah, I mean, season starting, it's crazy to think we're a couple months away from Paducah.
Right.
I mean, I feel like we kind of just left there, and we're gone 17 straight days or so, and it's we're getting back into that right now, which is absolutely crazy. But I'm excited for it. It should be a great year. We have, like D2, the polls will be coming out January 28th, which I believe is a Thursday. I know it's a Thursday. I'm just not sure if that's the 28th or not. But look out for those polls.
You're correct.
It is?
Because the 30th is a Saturday.
Okay. Well, then I'm good. So look out for those. The team previews are coming out right now. I think we just released the Gulf Coast today, but those will be released all the way through Friday. The polls will go out to the voters on Monday, and then will be released on Thursday. So that will be the preseason poll. And you'll notice on the preseason pool there's a lot of teams receive votes. I mean, the top 20 pool, and then we put below other teams receiving votes, and it's a long list of teams. But as the season progresses, a lot of those teams are kind of filtered out, and teams or voters are finally able to see how teams are playing.
Right.
But yeah, look out for the preseason pool. I'm going to assume, Oregon will be the number 1 team just because they were last year's national champions.
Assuming things already, huh?
Assuming, I am. But
I think that's a pretty good guess.
Yeah, and another reason I say that is, and I don't think I've released the Northern Pacific team previews yet. I think I'm going to wait till the Friday, the last ones to receive. But I'll give you a little sneak peek. Oregon, and I looked at their returning players. All their big name players are coming back. The Ross brothers, who are, I forget if it was Jared or Jason who won the MVP. They're both back. Derek Merriweather, all these big name guys that had huge World Series are all coming back. So
basically didn't lose a whole lot.
They didn't, which is scary because they were a heck of a team down in Paducah. And, like I said, I would assume they'd be number 1, but you never know.
Right.
But look out for those. It'll all be told on January 28th, so look out for the pools come next Thursday.
Cool. Very excited. I'm excited to get back to Paducah.
You are?
I am a little excited to get back to Paducah.
Your tent?
Man my tent. I had a lot of fun out there talking to the locals and stuff. They were a riot, and a lot of them came out, so it was a lot of fun just to kind of, and they were making fun of me because I'm from Pittsburgh. And
you're a Yankee.
Oh, you're a Northern boy, huh?
A Yankee.
So yeah, I got a lot of stuff from the locals, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, we're excited to get back down there and get back onto Brooks Stadium, and that's the goal. That's the goal at the end of the year, to be in Paducah and be one of the final 8 teams competing there. So let's move on. But to end, academic letters and registering online. Can't say that enough. Let's get Savannah Ahrens on the line. Talk some spring training.
Training.
And that's coming up. I mean, that's here in months. Less than a well.
Hello.
Hey, Savannah.
Hey, what's going on?
How are you?
Good.
We are joined by Savannah Ahrens, the Vice President of Softball Operations and also spring training. Let's talk some spring training right now. I mean, I know you're in the nitty-gritty of it, right in the heart of scheduling and things like that. How many teams do we have attending this year?
We have 75 teams total for baseball and softball.
Wow.
It's a ridiculous amount, and scheduling obviously has been a huge issue, but we're going to pack them in. We may be playing games at midnight, but let's do it.
Hey, midnight baseball. As long as you got lights, let's do it.
I'd be sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I know, have some schedules been released for some of the weeks?
Yeah, so the very first week, which is the last weekend in February through the first week of March, that's week 1
okay.
for baseball, and that has been released, which is crazy because they're going to literally be playing in like a month, a little over a month.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and we're hoping to have week 4 released today, tomorrow, within the next few days, just tweaking a few things, and then the 2 big weeks for baseball, weeks 2 and 3, definitely going to take a little bit more time just because we've got 28 teams in week 2 and 20 in week 3, so definitely going to be a bit of a challenge there, but nothing we haven't done before.
Yeah, you'll get it done.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. It'll be my first year going down. I'll be week 2. I don't even know the last time I was down there. It was the Kyle Buckman days, so.
Probably that year that y'all all ran it together.
Yeah.
Or after Kyle.
I did wreck a car. Sandy mentioned that I wrecked a car down there, which I did do. But that was my wife's fault, mind you. How many NCSA teams are going down?
We've got 8 teams for softball, so 2 weeks of tournaments, 1-4. It's going to be pretty exciting.
Good.
And you guys will get to help run that.
Nice.
Too.
Can I play on the softball free agent team?
That would be fun. That would probably be maybe an interesting thing to see.
Yeah.
Technically, they're exhibitions, so I think it'd be okay.
Okay. Now, what as for the teams that are attending the event, is what do they need to be doing right now?
Teams definitely need to be making their hotel reservations. This year, all the teams know you have to make your hotel reservations through Traveling Teams. That's our hotel booking company. company. You just call them, shoot them an email. Every team has the team contact information. And let them know what kind of hotel you're looking for, your budget, and they'll get you booked in some rooms. But that needs to be taken care of this week, just because the longer you wait, the less hotel options you're going to have, and probably the more expensive they're going to be. So definitely get that taken care of ASAP, now, today, tomorrow.
How many, is there any new teams coming down for their first year?
Oh, man, we've got a ton.
That's awesome. I kind of put you on the spot there.
This is their first year coming. That was a big one. I know we've been trying to get them to come down for a while. Really excited about that. And then quite a few others like BCU, Hofstra's making their first appearance down. We're super excited about that. South Dakota State, quite a few. Penn State's actually bringing their D2 team finally.
All right, cool.
How unfair has that been that their D1 team gets to go every year and their D2 team hasn't been able to go? So they're bringing both teams this year. Super excited about that.
Well, great. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to get back down there personally and check it out, because it's been a while since I've been down there. And, I say it all the time, you run a great event. The teams, all those teams you just mentioned that are coming down for the first time will probably be down there for years and years to come, just as a testament of your hard work and the staff's hard work at putting on such a great event down there. So kudos to you on that. Shifting gears, let's talk a little bit about NCSA. How are things shaping up with softball come 2016?
It's kind of crazy, but there will be softball played this weekend.
Wow.
The spring conference season starts this coming weekend. Coastal Carolina at Campbell, and then 4 of the Florida teams and 4 of the California teams are playing. So. Okay.
And how's JMU's our defending champions? Or have they played any games yet, or where are they looking?
Yeah, they've played quite a few games. Their conference is great because their weather is pretty much good year round.
Okay.
So lots of people jealous of the weather that JMU gets, but they've done really well. They're undefeated currently. They're 9-0 in conference play. So, but Virginia Tech not far behind at 8-1. So definitely going to be determined this spring with a few more series that they need to have played in the spring. So we're looking forward to hopefully seeing them back in the postseason. Okay. And I know that there's potential that the regional playoff may actually be hosted at JMU. So
nice.
Forward to finalizing that and seeing if that comes to fruition.
Okay. And then speaking of World Series, just tell everybody where that's going to be played.
That's going to be in the forever awesome Columbus, Georgia, as usual. We've been having the World Series there since 2010, so super excited to be back again. We're signed on for 2016 and 2017. So those dates are May 20th through 22nd in 2016. So really excited about that.
Well, great. Well, I know, Columbus is another place that I haven't been back since we had the World Series, but another just great venue and great city, and obviously the softball teams love it. So, anything else to add, softball related?
I don't think so. I mean, probably this time next month we'll know more, because those Florida and Southern Pacific teams are definitely going to be playing. So excited to see how that turns out. And always that South Atlantic South Conference with those Florida teams is always a toss-up. So excited to see who comes out of there for sure.
Well, cool. Well, thank you for joining us, Savannah, and we'll talk soon, I'm sure.
Great. Thanks so much.
See ya.
All right, bye.
Savannah Ahrens.
You're kind of stealing the show.
I know. I kind of steamrolled it.
I
steamrolled it. I kind of got into. I blacked out.
Yeah, no, you got into your zone.
Freddie's
here. I know.
Gotta.
I think we're gonna have Erica here calling in from JMU softball.
Okay.
Yeah. Erica, how's it going? This is Rob Bell.
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. So I kind of just want to start, the JMU has started sitting on top of the NCSA poll for the most recent one. And, how's the team looking this year? Players to watch. We just heard from Savannah. You guys are 9-0 in conference play so far this season. Want to talk a little about the team this year?
Yeah, we had a really good fall. We went undefeated, as you said, and we only graduated one player last year, so that helped a lot. So you gained some new younger players, bringing a little bit of spice, and us old players are kind of slowing down. We kept a strong defense like we did last semester, but I think we definitely added more power to our offense. We have a strong lineup all the way through, and we really just hit really well this year. We're having another tryout in February, and from there we'll make our team for this semester, and from there we'll focus on moving forward as one, because we win as one team, we lose as one team, making mistakes as one team. I think that'll definitely help us play together when it comes to nationals and regionals.
Absolutely. And, kind of last year, Christian and myself, we actually weren't at the NCSA National last year. We were in Pittsburgh, Kansas, probably. Yep. Kind of talk to us about what you made your team, what made your team successful. The tongue tie there. Was it from what it sounds like, maybe your defensive effort, but, what made your team successful down there?
I definitely think we played so strong as one team. Like I said before, that's so important. We were really comfortable around each other. For a group of girls that's really never played together before this, I think we definitely made the adjustments, and we worked hard all season. We incorporated fun into our practices. We're a student-led team, so kind of coaching and playing together, it's really stressful, but it gives you a new perspective on how your team may be feeling during games. And also the amount of support that we had from our parents and our friends and our families, it was incredible how many people drove 12 plus hours or took a flight to get down there to Georgia and just help root us on. So it was an experience that can never be forgotten. It was awesome.
Absolutely.
And Erica, I mean, you're atop the polls right now, the #1 team in the country. You obviously won the national championship last year. Have a bullseye on your back. Is the team feeling any pressure to, because Savannah also mentioned VT's kind of right behind you, nipping at your heels. Is there any pressure do you sense the team, feeling any pressure, so to speak, this year?
Tech's always a really good competition for us, but honestly, we're taking it practice by practice. We're just trying to make ourselves the best that we can be. So no, I don't think we feel that much pressure right now, but we still have the entire season to keep working, and I think that we can do it again.
Well, great.
We have a lot of talent this semester, so I'm excited to see where we can go.
And Erica, one last question for you. We just kind of, Savannah was just talking about, Columbus, Georgia, the venue there, and how, her and her staff always has, such a great time down there. Can you just talk a little bit about your experience with the town, the venue, and how you guys enjoyed it?
The fields are awesome. I like how everything's in close proximity to that. We stayed in Marriott last year, and it's a really nice hotel, and it's close enough to the fields, and I like the atmosphere down there because it's also a college town, sort of, but I think everything being close, and we all stayed in the same hotel, and it was awesome because we shared rooms, we got to know each other better, we all rode together to and from the fields, we ate together, so I thought it was really cool.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, good luck the rest of the season, and especially the upcoming spring season. Good luck to you, and maybe you guys will be able to stay undefeated and see us again here in Columbus, Georgia.
I really hope so.
All right, Erica, take care.
You too.
Bye. She sounds like they have their stuff together down at JMU.
Yeah. They were kind of I think at least a surprise last year, winning it all. It's it seems to be every year Florida State, and JMU kind of came out of nowhere last year, and forget which team they beat in the national championship. It was either Florida or Florida State, but yeah, I mean she sounds like they still got it this year, and
yeah, only losing one player, so that's definitely a plus.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's a big plus. So I think that's it.
That's it.
It's all done. All done.
I'm kind of disappointed because I hope we get voted again next month, but I don't know our performances.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know where it's at. Maybe I'll give us a B+.
But thank you for tuning in. We really hope you enjoyed the show. We hope you found it informative. Hope you learned something. If you want to watch previous Suite 301 episodes, just log into Google and type Suite 301 Ustream, and you'll be able to see all the archive shows that we recorded.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook for the latest updates involving CollClubSports. All of the sports: baseball, football, basketball, softball. We all have our own Facebook and Twitter. Make sure you get on them. Other than that, take care, guys. And Christian, it was a pleasure.
Peace and blessings.